Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're a cloud architect, a DBA, or an IT ops, you already know the deal. Navigating today's cloud management landscape, it's like trying to solve a giant, ever-changing puzzle. Efficiently logging, monitoring, and managing your resources isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's literally the bedrock of operational success. So today, we're diving straight into this. We're going to tackle how picking the absolute right Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI agent, is your ticket to keeping environments secure, highly observable, and running like a dream.
So, you might be wondering, why are we talking about agents today? Well, choosing the wrong OCI agent for your specific architecture, that's a one-way ticket to operational headaches. We're talking major blind spots in monitoring, totally missing out on critical application logs, or, no joke, unintentionally opening up security holes in your network. We absolutely have to get this right so your observability and management mesh seamlessly with your OCI cloud resources.
All right, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the OCI agent landscape, move on to the Oracle Cloud Agent Foundation, take an Oracle Management Agent deep dive, and look at the Unified Monitoring Agent. Finally, we'll wrap up with an agent feature comparison and some practical IT use cases.
Okay, Section 1, the OCI agent landscape. Let's get right into it.
You know, there's a saying that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure agents are the unsung heroes of cloud management and monitoring. And honestly, that hits the nail on the head. These agents, they run silently in the background, but they are absolutely essential. They give you this unprecedented control and visibility over your infrastructure, your apps, and your databases. But because there are different flavors of these agents built for very specific jobs, we really need to break them down. Moving on to Section 2, Oracle Cloud Agent Foundation. All right, the crucial thing to understand here is that the Oracle Cloud Agent is basically your baseline. It's your foundation. It's a super lightweight process that comes pre-installed right out of the box on OCI compute instances. And rather than trying to do everything itself, it actually manages a whole suite of plugins. These plugins are what do the heavy lifting, collecting host logs, gathering performance metrics for the monitoring service, handling OS updates, and even managing secure shell connections via Bastion. Since it's fully integrated and handles all these baseline tasks, it's considered an absolute best practice to stick with the Oracle Cloud Agent whenever you can. Now, for platform support, this agent covers all your standard bases out of the box. It natively supports major Windows distributions, both 64 and 32-bit, along with all the heavy hitters in the Linux world, like Oracle Linux, CentOS, and Ubuntu. Now, if you happen to be running an OS version that isn't on this list, well, that's exactly when you'll need to pivot to the other agents we're going to cover in just a minute. Okay, for all you IT ops folks listening, here is a super actionable takeaway. When things go sideways and you're working with support engineers to troubleshoot the Oracle Cloud Agent, you're going to need to pull diagnostic data. You can knock this out quickly by going to the OCAT tools directory. That's /usr/bin/OCAT tools, and just run the diagnostic script with sudo privileges. Boom. That automatically generates a tar file packed with all the diagnostic data your support engineer needs to get you unblocked. All right, Section 3, Oracle Management Agent Deep Dive. If the Cloud Agent is your basic Swiss Army knife, think of the Management Agent as your real heavy lifter for deep, advanced integrations. It provides this fantastic, low-latency, interactive communication between your IT targets and OCI. It's packed with plugins built specifically to tie into advanced observability and management services. We're talking deep hooks into logging analytics, database management, operations insights, and even Java Management Service. And what's kind of cool is you can enable this as a plugin right inside the Oracle Cloud Agent, or just install it on its own as a standalone package. Architecture-wise, the Management Agent really steps it up. Sure, it covers your standard Windows and Linux environments, but the big differentiator here is that it brings in support for Solaris Spark 64 and Linux Arc 64. So if you're running workloads on those specific architectures, this agent isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a total necessity. Just like with the Cloud Agent, knowing your way around troubleshooting is vital. To generate a support bundle for the Management Agent, you'll need to run a script called generateDiagnosticBundle.sh. But here's the catch. You've got to pay close attention to your user permissions. If it's running as a plugin via the Cloud Agent, you run the script as the Oracle-Cloud Agent user. But if you did a standalone install, you run it as the MGMT-agent user. Definitely keep those paths handy in your runbooks, trust me. Moving along to Section 4, Unified Monitoring Agent Overview. Okay, so the Unified Monitoring Agent is a totally different beast because it's a Fluentd-based open-source agent. Its main gig is ingesting custom logs, think syslogs, application logs, and security logs, and funneling them directly into the Oracle logging service. This is the tool that gives you exact, granular control over exactly which logs you want to grab and exactly how you want to parse them. Now listen up, because there is a strict limitation here that your security and architecture teams absolutely need to be aware of. Even though this agent is based on open source FluentD, inside OCI, it acts as a fully managed agent. This means custom client configurations, specifically remote source log gathering, are completely off the table. They aren't recommended and they aren't officially supported. Why? Simply put, pulling logs from unverified remote sources opens up massive security vulnerabilities. Always gather your logs locally where the agent actually lives. So, when you need to peek under the hood of the unified monitoring agent, you aren't going to use a special generated script like we did with the other two. Instead, you'll want to head straight to the log file path at /var/log/unified-monitoring agent. Or, just lean on your standard Linux journal CTL commands to check out the system logs for those specific units and services.
All right, Section 5, Agent Feature Comparison. Let's stack these up.
Looking at core observability features, you'll see the Oracle Cloud Agent relies on its own plugins for basic monitoring and custom logs. But when we start talking about the really advanced stuff, logging analytics, stack monitoring, database management, the Oracle Management Agent completely runs the show. It's the only one that handles those deep advanced services. Meanwhile, the Unified Monitoring Agent, it is strictly dedicated to integrating custom logs into the logging service via a user principal. Honestly, target support usually makes the decision for you before you even look at the features. For standard compute instances, all three agents have you fully covered. But if you're running Oracle Base Database Service or Exadata Dedicated, the standard Oracle Cloud Agent simply won't cut it. For those high-performance database targets, you have to use either the Management Agent or the Unified Monitoring Agent. No way around it. But wait, if you do go with the Unified Monitoring Agent for those database targets, keep this major caveat in mind. Yes, you can install it on base database or Exadata VMs to ship custom logs to OCI, but the FluentD agent cannot parse native Oracle database logs. So your alert logs, your trace files, your listener logs, they're just going to show up as raw data in the logging service. If you need those database logs to be parsed and completely analytics ready, you absolutely need the management agent. Section 6, Practical IT Use Cases. Let's bring this all together. When you're standing up your architecture, you really got to ask yourself, what's my end goal here? If you need to onboard Oracle RAC databases, or pull on-prem databases into database management, or grab Kubernetes metrics to send to OCI monitoring, the management agent is your best friend. On the flip side, if your security team says you must stream syslogs out to a third-party CM, or if you've got to grab Kubernetes pod logs using FluentD output plugins, then the unified monitoring agent is definitely the way to go. At the end of the day, mastering this whole agent landscape isn't just about memorizing a bunch of plugins or OS compatibility charts. It's about really looking at your specific environment and matching these features to your actual use cases. When you do that, you're empowered to make architecture decisions that are bulletproof, highly secure, and incredibly observable. And that is exactly what drives true operational excellence in your Oracle Cloud environment. So I want to leave you with a thought to chew on as you look at your own setups today. Is your current agent strategy truly driving operational excellence? Or are you maybe just settling for the default cloud agent when you really should be tapping into the deep analytics of the management agent? Or are you wrestling with raw logs when FluentD could be piping them perfectly to your SIM? Take a hard look at your architecture. Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, and keep optimizing.